I wanted to ask you about moral equivalency. Do you think that a lot of times, especially on cable news, in politics, in reporting, even let's say in the Middle East or reporting from anywhere, that this is all too prevalent?
Yes, and I love that question. I love it because it came at me when I was very young and I was just knocked for a loop when people started to accuse me of taking sides in Bosnia. And I didn't know what to do because I said, oh my gosh, you know, our golden rule is to be objective. And then I suddenly realized that actually, what does objectivity mean? It means giving all sides a fair hearing, but it doesn't mean treating all sides equally. I explained a little bit, you don't equate the victim and the aggressor. But beyond that, you don't create a false moral equivalence, particularly in the most grievous instances of violation of international law. And the highest violation of international law is genocide. And had I done that in the genocide that was happening in Bosnia, I would have been an accessory. I would have been saying that this is all the same. And I realized that very quickly. So it took criticism for me to try to understand what it means. And from then on, I've been totally clear. You tell the truth. And I think, you know, I'm talking about, this is on one extreme when you're talking about humanitarian law and violations of human rights and all of that. But even in daily life, when you are doing political reporting or whatever reporting it is, you have to be able to tell the truth. You know, and sometimes the truth has one side. And you have to be able to say that. And you can't just use your platform as a megaphone for a bunch of opposing sides. I mean, that's not journalism. That's just, okay, come up on this platform and you say your bit and somebody else says their bit. No, you've got to be able to tell the truth and cut through it. You know, present all sides, but then make sure you tell the truth. And I tell you, there was a very interesting, I mean, I don't want to get into the controversy over guns and this and that, but this terrible, terrible thing that we're all still reeling from that happened in Newtown just before Christmas. Well, you've all probably seen the hearings on Capitol Hill. And I was just thinking, you know, how we could have done a program on this on our air. They had the various experts testifying. There was Mark Kelly, who was Gabby Gifford's husband. There was Wayne Lapierre, who's the head of the NRA. And then there were several other experts. One of these experts was a woman. And she was there to say that actually guns in the home protect women. And I don't think anybody picked that up that day. The next couple of days, I was reading the New York Times, and there was a full editorial dissecting that statement. And I think that's our role. That our role is to listen to what people are saying and then fact check, be the accountability. I mean, if we're trying to figure out, and many different news organizations are trying to figure out, how do you remain relevant in today's, you know, fragmenting news environment? I think you remain relevant by being the center of truth and fact, and by holding everybody accountable on what people say and fact-checking. So I think that is a really, even more important now than it's ever been, since there's so much opportunity for people to just keep screaming and shouting their own points of view and sticking to their talking points and, you know, never getting shaken up and say, oh, come on now, you know, answer this question and this question. And I tell you, when I was doing the Sunday program on ABC, I used to commute back and forth from New York to Washington. And when I would come out and from the show and then, you know, go through the airports, people would stop me and they would say, no, hammer those people, ask them these questions. When they say that, tell them no. You know, we want you to hold our leaders accountable.